got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is
Something like this allowed to happen. How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's
I don't know.
completely unfair. It is completely just it's I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to.
And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan harshly criticized Jake Paul for challenging Gervonta Tank Davis despite their massive size difference. He emphasized that weight classes exist to protect fighters, and disregarding them poses serious dangers. Rogan argued that Jake seems more interested in hyping up the event than respecting the integrity of boxing. His main concern is that Jake's larger frame and superior power could genuinely endanger Tank, making the fight both unsafe and unnecessary.
But no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Because like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Michael Bisping has voiced strong criticism of Jake Paul's decision to face Gervonta Tank Davis despite their extreme weight disparity. He highlights that Jake is preparing to fight someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which undermines the natural balance and fairness of boxing. Bisping recalls that Jake's previous matchup with the 58-year-old, long-retired Mike Tyson was already controversial, and this new bout only deepens the concerns. According to Bisping, the fight seems less about genuine competition and more about Jake seeking an unfair advantage for personal gain. He stresses that boxing's integrity depends on equal contests, yet this one appears so lopsided that it feels more like exploitation in sport, putting Tank's safety at serious risk.
That's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him. Him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word, whoa, stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta Tank Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers. Yeah.
Teddy Atlas reacted to the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis, emphasizing the drastic size difference between the two. He joked that Tank is so small compared to Jake that he'd practically need a ladder just to reach his chin. While Atlas acknowledges that variations in skill and style are normal in boxing, he insists that this particular size gap is far beyond acceptable limits. According to him, Tank is simply too undersized to reach Jake effectively, making the fight look completely mismatched from the very beginning.
They should also have, like, the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, all kidding aside, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. Well, but we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye catching, jaw dropping, and it made me think. And I'm gonna ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm gonna ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan argues that Jake Paul's actions are driven more by promotion than genuine competition. He explains that these kind of fights are designed to attract casual audiences and generate buzz through unusual matchups. According to Rogan, the focus on betting hype and media spectacle has little to do with true sporting merit and everything to do with grabbing headlines. He believes Jake expertly uses boxing as a marketing tool, keeping his name in the spotlight, even when the matchups themselves lack real competitive sense.
That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them.
Hmm?
That was Jake Paul promoting it. Just like,
But
doesn't bother me.
there's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
If I bet on it,
watching
bothers
it
the
is
fuck
hard.
out.
Watching it with
Yeah.
people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia, so it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in.
Parasocial thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Leonard Ellaby explained that Gervonta "Tank" Davis wasn't in the right mental space to face Lamont Roach. He revealed that Tank was dealing with several personal challenges and didn't want to add more stress by taking on another fight at that time. According to Ellaby, this lack of motivation is the main reason the matchup never materialized, despite fans' high expectations. He added that Tank was prioritizing his personal well-being over competition, and stepping away from the Roach fight was his way of avoiding unnecessary pressure.
There's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing. For sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You'd rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got your chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Oh, my goodness. I mean, here's the thing, though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the side.
Reports suggest that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is planning to retire after his upcoming fight with Jake Paul. According to insiders, this decision is driven less by a desire to build his legacy or chase more titles, and more by the goal of achieving financial security. Observers note that Tank's acceptance of the bout seems motivated primarily by the massive payday involved, rather than genuine competitive ambition or career advancement. Analysts explain that Tank has faced considerable personal and professional pressures lately, which may have influenced his decision to pursue a high-profile yet unconventional matchup. Viewed in this context, the fight with Jake Paul appears to be a strategic business move, a way for Tank to secure long-term financial stability before stepping away from the sport.
Their first press conference. One of the most recognizable things is Jake Paul is huge compared to Gervonta Davis. And two, Gervonta Davis don't even know what weight they fighting, dude.
I watched this, and we have our priorities way misplaced when we're talking about boxing. Like, everybody's complaining about this Ali act and all. Like, how is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled, but this fight should not be happening. And the press conference was embarrassing. Gervonta Davis should not have a mic in front of him. It was absolutely embarrassing watching this thing.
See, why, D?
Just the fact that, like, every time when Jake Paul would say something to Gervonta Davis, he didn't know how to answer it. He was comparing himself to, like, P. Diddy at moments, and I was like, oh my God, get a mic away from this guy. This fight shouldn't be happening. And then he didn't even know what weight they were fighting. Like, I thought it was 190, 195.
That was the craziest thing. That was the thing that stood out to me the most. Was that when they go, the rehydration limit or something is 195. And he goes, wait, thought it was 190.
Gervonta Tank Davis reflected on his career, admitting that his original goal was never to become a boxing legend. Instead, his focus was on earning enough money to escape hardship and create a better future for himself. For Tank, boxing was a means to change his life, a path to financial stability rather than fame or championship glory. His motivation has always been security and independence, not legacy or titles, which helps explain the reason behind many of his recent career choices. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel ***, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful updates like this. Flex Biceps, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Tank made the right move? Boxing Glove, your support keeps the voice of truth alive. Stay tuned for more explosive stories. Police Scarlight Fire.